I'm gonna put your names on the board if you keep talking. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys for coming out. This is the first time we've gotten together in a group in a training seminar. So I'm hoping that we'll walk away with some good knowledge. I got a few things to start off. I know you guys have seen this, but this is really what it's getting to, right? We're going to have dueling pistols in the front yard to win a bid these days. You know, who's got the highest bid over list price? Let's hear. 50? 60. Do I hear 65? There's 100. 100,000 over list price. Woo! Anybody else? My highest was 94. So which is shocking. And it had two people bidding against each other, and the one guy backed out, but I had a backup. You got to have a backup in today's market, guys.
I don't know how to get one. I can't get them. You got all these offers, and you can't get anybody that wants to be a backup.
Oh yeah,
I don't get it.
I just called the number 2. I said, let me put you on backup. Good chance first buyer's going to back out once they wake up in the morning.
I do that, and they said no, they don't want to be backup.
Why?
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
No, but why do you think they don't want to be in a backup?
I don't know.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You can go buy. You can have
Yeah.
3 backup offers.
Right.
Right.
They're not binding until you become offered first position, right? So I put all my buyers in a backup position,
Oh yeah.
and I try to put my buyers on my listings in a backup position, right? So we've done some deals that way, and it just works, right? Matter of fact, one of our agents today, Christy Kohlberg, had a listing, and the buyer bid high, got their offer accepted, but the buyer really didn't know what they were doing and found out that they can't comply, right? Kyle Clayton had a backup offer on it, and then within an hour they were back in escrow, right? Had a signed back. And again, that's just the way to represent your client. So I would always have a backup. You can withdraw your backup at any time, okay?
I meant as a seller. Like if I sell a listing,
Yeah.
I can't get all the offers. I can't get any of them to be a backup.
Okay.
My buyers, I always tell them to be backups because
Right.
we always get it back.
Well, I pretty much talk somebody into it. You know, I tell them, what do you got to lose?
Right.
What
Exactly.
do you got to lose? Well, my internet's a little unstable. That's kind of scary. All right. All right. So I got a couple quotes to start off. If you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. Right. The rest of it goes, if you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. Right. I truly believe most of my success in real estate is learning from other people. I don't think I have too many original thoughts in my mind, but I'm pretty good at gathering ideas from other people. Okay. I have another quote. Stay away from stale people. You know what stale people are?
Don't
Anybody?
The ones that don't have any goal in life.
They are,
They don't have to survive.
as I'm clicking here. Well, what the hell happened? Oh, I'm wondering if
You're
some,
still doing the same thing that they work in the first
Yeah.
place.
let me see what's going on. It's weird because my mouse doesn't work on this for some reason, maybe because we're going AirPlay. Nothing worse than technical challenges. There we go. Still people, they're still complaining. They're still broke. They're still going nowhere, and they're still hating, right? We need to surround ourselves with people going on the same mission as we are, right? So with that being said, I'm going to talk to you about how to choose a farm area, okay? Has anybody done farming before? Okay, all right. So I know you and I were farming 30 years ago, right? And pretty much
Off and on.
very close to the same neighborhoods, right?
Yeah,
Off of
still
Peoria
farm.
Road, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I made sure I didn't choose your.
my domain. Well, one of the things that we're going to teach you is how do you play with other people that are in that domain and what makes sense, right? And I'll show you some real live numbers, okay? So I chose this market, Vistancia, right? You guys know Vistancia, but here's what you need to understand about farming. You need to find a farm that will get you somewhere of a turnover rate between 6 and 8%, okay? Does anybody not know what a turnover rate is? And the reason I'm going to ask you questions is because I want you to answer so we can have a two-way conversation. Yeah, how many houses are selling, right? So if you have 100 homes in your farm area and 6 homes sell, that's a 6%.
Per year, that sounds.
Per year, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so how we do that, we find the total number of homes in your target market, the total number of sales in a 12-month period, okay? And a couple of things that you're gonna wanna know is you're gonna wanna know the average sales price, and normally you'd wanna know the average days on market, right? That doesn't really come into play today, but it may in 6 months or a year or whenever the market gets back to normal, because you wanna understand the market. You also wanna understand your competition, right? You really wanna know who your competition is. And then you have to establish an annual budget. The biggest problem with people that do farming stop too early, right? So if you found a neighborhood, and let's just use that 100 homes again for a minute, and only 6 homes sell in a year, and you advertise for 3 months in a row and nobody listed their house and you quit, the people are still going, those 6 houses are going to still list later on that year and you're not there yet. And you have to understand, I believe farming is, and I never talk politics, but it's a lot like being a political person running for office, right? I think there's some people that vote on how many signs they see on the way to the polling station that day. They know who the president is, they know who the governor is, but they don't always know the sheriffs or the different people. And they're going to just vote off a popularity contest, right? So you have to get your name out there. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay. Don't use the arrow, don't use the space bar, use the mouse pad. Okay. All right, so we're all good.
Do you have a USB on the laptop that we can hook up the mouse to?
I don't need one. I'm good now. I know how to do it now.
Okay.
I figured it out after 5 or 6 clicks.
Got it.
When you're picking a farm, right? And what I did here is I picked Blackstone as the example, right? I know Blackstone fairly well. What you do is you just go into your into MLS and you draw out the neighborhood that you want to farm. I want you also to go and look for RPR. If we get done with this process, I'm going to find a video from RPR. It's just 3 minutes that I'm going to play for you. Okay. But RPR has a system where you go into their system and you can pick a neighborhood, and it does cap out at 500 homes, but it'll count how many homes are in that neighborhood. Okay. And it'll let you know the turnover rate. It's pretty cool, but it's limited to 500 homes. So if you were doing more than 500 homes, you'd have to do multiple sets, but it was pretty cool. So when you mark out Blackstone, now normally I would have to come up this road to be a little tighter because this is now a new community, but I know there was no resales in there yet. They're just being built and they're outside of Blackstone. But for this example, you just draw it out, and you can do 2 or 3 things once you draw out your community. You can see how many active listings are in there. And if you go through your active listings and you just look at them, you can sort by the listing agent. And this is important so you can find out who's your competition. So if you go into a marketplace and there are 5 dominant realtors and they have 60% of the market, is that really a market that you want to choose? Or is there a neighborhood next door where there's really no dominant realtor, right? So you want to study your market. It's not always the neighborhood you live in. It's a neighborhood that maybe you want to live in. I think I started farming Blackstone before we moved into Blackstone, but it was a conscious decision. That was where I wanted to move to. And like one of my favorite quotes is Wayne Gretzky was asked, why are you the greatest hockey player? He goes, because I skate to where the puck's going to be, right? And in this case, I kind of skated to where the market I wanted to be, okay? All right, so Blackstone. Now, when I started in Blackstone, there were no resales, right? There were 0 resales. There were only new homes. And I started a marketing piece, just marketing. And there was nobody, and I used to figure out who's going to ever move out of here. I mean, I loved it. Why would you move out of Blackstone, right? Well, then people started moving, right? But in the beginning, I used to just use the new home sales. So let's say if you were going to farm Sterling Grove, right? Sterling Grove doesn't have any resales yet. But if you start to be the knowledge person of Sterling Groves, and I would give you an example if any of you wanted to do that. There's an agent up in Vistancia that just opened her own real estate company last week. But 5 years ago, she started a Vistancia Facebook group. She's got like 14,000 people on her Facebook group. And we all hang out in there. We all ask those questions. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wrong pipe. That's because you're drinking soda pop. That'll kill you. All right. So Blackstone, 650 homes. Okay. 59 homes closed last year. Okay. That's 118 sites. Okay. And at 59 homes that sold, some of those were builder specs. You know how the builder puts in the sold. Okay. So that was a 9% turnover, right? When you take out the builder side, it's a 7% turnover. As I said in the beginning, your bottom line maybe is about a 6% turnover. You need to have turnover in a community to make it worth your while, right? So the next thing is I just went ahead and did the volume. There was $45 million of business that were done for the 59 units and 34 million for the 45 units. I'm just trying to get a feel for the neighborhood, right? That I want to try to market. And the average price is 775. So approximately per side, we're not talking commissions, but approximately it's about 20,000 apples, right? That if you sell a house, that's the gross commission that you can earn. So my budget is $10,000, okay? So if I spend $10,000 marketing, how many houses do I need to sell to break even? Right, so one house, right?
Right.
That's it, right? So at the end of the day, I just need to sell one house and I double my money, okay? And when I say this, I want you to also understand that I'm not taking into consideration the possibility of me of double ending that, and that's a $40,000 commission, right? Or I take that seller and find him another house. I'm just really focusing in on the one side of the commission to make my projections. Anything above that happens is gravy, okay? So in 2020, I was only mailing to 385 homes. So somewhere along the way, they built all these homes, and all these new people moved in, and I did not even realize that. What are you doing?
I'm fixing something that
All she do is click on that down when we want to change.
Oh, thank you.
But don't do that because I'm not there yet.
You know, you can hit the arrow.
It wasn't working. It wasn't working, nor was the space bar.
That's so
So that
weird.
8220, that was monthly.
That was annual.
Annual.
That was my annual
That's what I
cost,
thought.
okay? So again, I found out when I was doing this research, when I went in, that I wasn't mailing to almost half the subdivision. So as good as, I kind of said it and forget it a few years ago. Well, guess what? They built 300 more homes, right? And so that is now being corrected, and now we're moving forward. So my budget will probably go up to about 16,000, okay? But now I'll be touching more people.
There you go. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry.
Okay.
First time jitters, guys.
Yeah.
Working through the kinks. Thank you.
Well, there we go again.
Got it?
Okay. All right. So here's the result of 2020. Okay. This mailing piece. Oh, go figure. It's not even here. It's my big mailing piece. It looks like this. It actually looks like this, but it's this size and it opens up, right? Thought I had one here. It's this size. Okay. It goes out to Blackstone. I use a third-party company, which means we don't have to fold it. We don't have to put a label on it. We don't have to worry about the mailing. We just third-party it out, and they take care of everything. For that, it costs me $1.65 per piece. Okay. Steve, would you mind running the office and grabbing a few of the Blackstone things? So bring a handful if there's some there. Okay.
Right.
So it's $1.65. I brought this concept to the office 5 years ago. There's only two people in the company that are doing it today, Linda Raywalt and myself. Linda Raywalt dominates Anthem. Yes, ma'am.
What company do you use for that?
It's called REM. Okay? REM does a lot of other things, and I'll talk about them a little bit later. Okay? So $1.65, it's a volume price, and it's a little bit higher now. It's probably about $1.85 or so now, but because I've been original guy, it didn't raise my prices yet. Commission in Blackstone only last year was $130,000. Now, we do other things in Blackstone, right? We're members of the country club. It's part of our community. We're involved. So sometimes it's sphere of influence, but I think what I tagged the commissions here was pretty much from something that was an REM or marketing. No, the Blackstone mailer. It says Blackstone on the top. And so it's a 16x return, right? And if you can get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6%, I mean 6% or 6 times your investment is a really good target when you're investing in whatever you spend, you should get times more. You don't want to get twice as much because really just created a job for yourself, right? So now I made this presentation about 3 weeks ago. So far this year in Blackstone, I 70,000. Okay, so it's working, right? My $8,000 worked pretty good, but this is like year 5 of doing this, right? And I hate to say it, yeah, that's it. I hate to say it. It is not, I'm not even the #1 guy right now in Blackstone. I'm pretty close, we're right there. And if you're volume, you're talking units, they've got a couple multi-million-dollar homes that just, and it bumped him up. But I don't have to be #1. It's pretty close to being #1 or 2. Like I said, with Jockey, he used to work for us. He owns his own real estate company right in the community. And so with that being said, and at that time, 4 listings were $2.4 million, which are all pending in or have closed as of yet, right? I don't tell you that to brag. It's just to show you that you stick with it, you find a market, you keep the machine, right? Any questions?
What was your progression? You said you've been doing it 5 years?
Oh, I probably the first year, anything.
So what was your progression? Just ballpark each year.
Oh, I don't know. I probably made 50,000, then 75,000, then 100,000, and this year we'll probably make 150, 200,000. Yeah. So just off one subdivision. I have a bunch of farms.
Right.
Right. So that's just one mechanism. Okay. This is it. You can pass this around. A couple things I want you to look on here is on the front of the presentation. It says, presented by Martinez Rematch Professionals, your Blackstone real estate specialist, prepared especially for, then it will have the homeowner's name there. This happens to be me, it's mailed to me, right? When you go through it, there's other places I can insert, like here's Nate's name again, the client, right? There's different places I can insert a message right with the homeowner's name on there, right? That's called variable digital printing, right? I think people, matter of fact, I went to a house the other day in Lakes. The guy had a stack of these things, and there was other realtors in there, but my stuff looked better, right? So dominate Arrowhead Lakes. In fact, with the Arrowhead Lakes house I just sold.
Oh, did you?
She left Remax. Something went wrong. She got unwired and she went over to Long Realty, and then she got a call from one of our old Remax ads, and the guy wanted to
Telephone book.
yeah, this guy's dad died, and she was at Long Realty, and she tried to get the listing, and he goes, "No, I want to work with a Remax agent." She goes, "Well."
He did set an appointment with me,
Mm-hmm.
but the more I thought about it, that if I was probably calling other realtors and was going to be you.
Mhm.
So I figured I might as well refer it to you,
There you go.
make the referral fee, and I knew you would sell it.
Right. So not only did I sell it, I bought it.
Yeah,
I got to tell the story because I think it's fascinating. I bought it, but I still paid her commission. I take a commission, but I still paid her a referral fee. Like I got a full 3%, right? And she got a referral fee. I bought the house from the guy for $450,000. I put about into the house. I just sold it to a California guy for 800,000 cash. No commission paid, right? So that was pretty good. And it's bittersweet because that's been a vacation rental. In the last 4 months, I'm averaging $10,000 a month on vacation rental income. So it's really kind of, I opened my mouth and I told the guy, he was looking at another house. I said, look, you weren't going to buy this one. Why don't you just buy mine? I'll sell it to you for 800. And he goes, when can I see it? And I said, tenant moves out in the morning. So we went over there. He goes, okay, I'll take it. And I'm a man of my word, so I'm
I
going to
know,
sell
but
it to
the
him.
market went up so high.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
did.
I mean?
It did.
And now you don't have to deal with Airbnb people.
But I like it.
You did.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't do nothing. I delegated it to Brandy. One thing you know, I delegate everything, don't I, Tanya?
You did.
I mean, there's nothing in our house I do. Drives Tanya nuts. She says, we're gonna hang some pictures, we're gonna hang this or that mirror. I said, call the handyman, right? I just don't feel that I have time to slow down, right? Or if I do, it's not to do honeydews, okay?
Do you like how he didn't even look up for that? It's not lying.
Okay, but I think it's important to know, right? There was a point in time I used to love to cut my grass, wash my cars. I don't wash my car. I don't even go to the car wash. The guy comes to my house, right? It's all designed to save me what? Time. I trade money for time. I trade marketing for time. I've never called for sub owners. I never worked expireds. You know, I just never knocked on doors, right? I remember my first broker asked me, he goes, you need to have 6 months of money in the bank and you have to be willing to knock doors. I think, man, I live in Maryville, right? I'm not knocking on anybody's door, you know? Plus I didn't have 6 days of money in the bank. So these are 4 subdivisions I looked at. Now this data is a little bit old, right? But it proves a point, right? Because all these prices have gone up, and this data is probably from about 18 months ago. But I just wanted to show you. Up here, I got Northlands, right? You guys know where Northlands is? Joe Max in about 107th Avenue, okay? Taylor Moore's community. There's 700 homes up there. In this time, and this, like I said, it was 18 months ago, so don't freak out about the numbers. 59 homes sold, 8.4% turnover. That's better than Blackstone, okay? The Meadows, right? At the time, there were 1,400 homes in the Meadows, 126 homes sold, 9% turnover, right? Trilogy, you know this community very well, right? There's 26, is that correct? 2,600 homes, does that sound right to you?
More.
Maybe more now with the new addition, right? Yeah. In that time period of 12 months, 246 homes sold. Turnover, 9.4%. Okay. West Wing, 956 homes, 129 homes sold, 13% turnover. Okay. So what you want to do is just start looking around and find a neighborhood that has a turnover rate and a price point in a neighborhood that you feel comfortable working in, right? I was working in a little community at 55th Avenue in Peoria. I owned it. It was a whopping probably 150 home subdivision. I had more listings in there than anybody. Then I expanded. Then I started milling to 500 homes. Then I started milling to 1,000 homes, right? And it was simple. Just simple postcards had a one-word theme. It would have like a word and then a Webster's definition of the word, like success, whatever it said, right? And I would just send that out. On the back of the postcard said, the name you know, right? I would just program them to know my name, all right? So anyway, you do your research and you continue on. So what do I send out? I send out market updates. I send out every door direct postcards in low cost marketing. Right? If you take me back 20 years ago when I used to live in Arrowhead Ranch, I had the back page of this news, and it was the Arrowhead newspaper, whatever it was, right? It was filled with garbage, right? All kinds of ads, right? You'll never see one of my ads inside a publication where other realtors or other businesses have their businesses, because you have to open it up, you have to find it, you know. I have the back page. If I don't have the back page, I don't play, okay? So I had that for years, and then, you know, the market changed, the REO changed, and I gave that up, and I never got it back, okay? I also found another place, which was the Peoria Recreation Guide. They had no advertising in there, and I called up the city of Peoria, and I said, hey, you got this back page. Why don't you sell it to me and get some revenue for the city? And they go, no, we can't do that. Well, why not? Well, because we don't sell advertising. Why not? Right? So after about 10 calls, they sold me the back page, and I had the back page, and I went to every single home in the city of Peoria for like $1,200.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, right? That was back then too, but I mean, I don't know,
They
5,
still send
10,000.
that thing out.
They still, but again, I let that go, right? And again, it's that guide was something that hung around for a while. I think it was maybe monthly or quarterly, I can't remember. But it had everything to do, every community event, every class.
Yeah.
And so that might hang around your coffee table for a little while, right? That's what marketing that we're talking about. The piece you're going out is the Blackstone piece. I kind of explained it to you. There's a front, there's an inside, and another inside, and there's a back, right? So in there, in the back, I'm usually advertising the houses. On the inside, I'm advertising what's for sale or what's sold in the community, right? And again, MLS kind of got on me, or somebody turned me in, and I had to remove the addresses from the active listings. And I'm thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I'll get political on what I think is right and wrong, right? I'm like, the internet has the address. Why can't my printed piece? Put some rule in the MLS guidelines, so on. So I dropped the addresses. I had it for like 3 years, right? You can put the address on the solds. You just can't put the address on the actives on the printed piece because it's another realtor's listing.
Yeah, it's your marketing for
I know,
Did you get their permission?
well, you have to get each one. And again,
No.
I delegate. Well, this is all pulled. All this information is pulled by the company. They go in and pull it. Matter of fact, I don't ever really proof it. Junior proofs it, right? And so again, just a piece. Again, that piece has gone out every single month, probably for 5 years, right? It just doesn't stop. Okay. The only thing I changed on, I added Tanya's picture to it. Because she's part of the community. She golfs more than I do, right? And so, and it's worked. I mean, a lot of ladies from golf call her up to list one of these houses, right? I know, she's cuter than me. So, has anybody done Every Door Direct?
Yeah.
Okay, this is easy, guys. Don't even think this is hard. Office at Arrowhead. I mean, at Arrowhead office. And where you see all these little blue lines, that's Arrowhead Lakes, and this over here, and this is the top of the ranch, right? All that right there is 3,204 homes. So if I wanted to mail to them, and think about this, whatever we're getting first class. What's first class stamp cost you today?
75 cents.
Yeah, a lot, right? Yeah, 14 cents. It's 14 cents. Maybe it's 17 cents.
19.
It says
19 at
19.
the bottom.
Does it?
All the way at the bottom.
Yeah, it's 19. It used to be 14 cents. So it's 19 cents. 200 to get that number, but
Where is this? What is this?
This is homework for you, USPS.com, United States Postal Service.com, type in EDDM. There's like little videos, teach you how to do it and whatnot. So what do we send out? Every door direct. We send out just listed and just sold postcards, okay? So these things, right? I'm creating what I call assets, right? I want these assets to be used over and over again. Steve went to get stuff and he brought piles of assets, right? These are homes that sold, we didn't send them out, what have you. They're information that I give to people. So if you live in some of my areas like Arrowhead Lakes or like Blackstone or Estancia, you'll see my collateral come through, right? And even though some of those people, I might only mail 2, 3, or 4 times in, ask anybody who works for the mail in the Northwest Valley, they know who I am because they deliver my stuff all the time, right? So when I list this house, like this house here, I listed, and we're always testing, right? This is a house at 55th 3rd Avenue, back in a Pinnacle Road, okay? So what I'm doing with low market is put the house on the market Saturday and Sunday and take the offer on Monday, right? In January, we didn't do that. We just kind of put it coming soon and sold before it hit the market. And then my buyer's agents and I are looking around like, wow, we didn't convert anybody off that, right? So I said, oh, what's in the best interest of the seller is get more buyers in the house, see if we can raise the price. So really there was a lift in our prices the next month. We went to open houses Saturday and Sunday, offers reviewed on Monday. And when we went to that, Steve, how many buyers would come through your open houses?
That I got information, probably average 4 or 5.
4 or 5,
Yeah.
yeah. What you don't know about Steve, last year he got 164 leads from open houses. And I'm not saying just a name, he's got a name, a phone number, and email. These are people that he is working. How much percentage of your business comes from open houses?
90.
Yeah, almost all of it, right? And Steve as a buyer's agent on a 50-50 split on team, we made well over $100,000 last year, right? And just working open houses and listing houses now, right? So, and it's crazy, huh, Steve?
Crazy.
It's crazy. So we mail these out. I mail out 5,000 of them, right? Costs me about $1,500, right? Between the printing and the stamps, right?
Oh, no.
And I want people to call me, not really to buy the house. I want them to call me to list their house. So a lot of times I go to a listing and they have this on the thing. I said, why'd you call me? Well, you've been mailing me these for a while. Sometimes they have a whole bunch of them, you know? Yes.
How much of your marketing do you price off?
All of it,
All of it?
everything. Matter of fact, you won't find a square foot. You'll find some beautiful pictures, but you won't find a price. You won't find a square footage. You won't find a bedroom count. Why? I want them to call. Why? We want to convert them, right? It's all about conversion. People sometimes get pissed off, right? You know, and they do. And then, so I have fun with them. I said, well, why didn't you put the price on there? Well, what if I would have printed all these things in myself if you want to change the price? No, then blame somebody else, right? So, but, you know, when you do that, you get people to call. And in this office that basically is free to you. I pay money for you guys to use that, so use it, please. Has my voice pad number and a code, and they get information on this house. Now think about this. Let's just go back to Blackstone. If over a course of a year, we mailed out 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 pieces, and we collected 100 people that called in voice pad, over various homes. We can go into our voice pad system. We say, hey, somebody wants to, we can pull out like all the Blackstone calls for a year. And I'm in the listing appointment. I can show the seller, look, we got 100 buyers for Blackstone alone that we've got in the last year, right? Or you can list the house and you can call those 100 people and say, hey, I got a new house coming on the market. We're going to be open this Saturday. And I'll give you an example of that right now. Jennifer, who's been licensed about 18 months on our team, she's aggressive, right? Hungry. I like hungry people. She calls voice pads. So she was doing an open house. Now follow me for a minute. I'm the team leader. It's Blackstone. Jim on my team lists the house for $979,000. And I scold him a little bit. I said, Jim, it's overpriced. Doesn't even have a pool, right? First open house, Jennifer does the open house on Saturday. A realtor pulls up, then the first hour of the open house says, close the open house down. I'm writing a full price cash offer. She goes, well, I'm going to continue to hold it open. She called the voice pad from that one listing, from they were the neighbors. One of the neighbors came over. She invited him over to see the house. He walked over, he goes, if you can sell this house for this price, you can list my house. Now, Jennifer's never listed a house over like a $200,000 single wide or double wide, right? She's never had that experience yet. The guy likes her. By the time the open house is over, we already tendered an offer $45,000 above list price cash. So she says, we sold it. And she listed the house for $1 million.
Wow.
And that sold, and they sold them another house for about 900. Okay. So that one didn't sell for $1 million, sold for 950, but off of calling voice pad and doing an open house, just working a very, very simple system. Nothing I'm teaching you right now is hard, right? Matter of fact, it's easy, right? So in this case, we tried something different.